Hello, my dear civil engineering students. You might have recently written GATE 2021 exam. You may be thinking of appearing for Engineering Services Exam 2021. Now, I want to explain or guide you about a successful journey, a happy journey from GATE 2021 to ESE 2021 in a span of 5 months. Now let us see the schedule of ESE 2021 exam. The date of notification for both prelims and mains together will be on April 7th. Now coming to the last date for receipt of applications is 27th April. The date of the preliminary exam is on July 18th on one day on Sunday. Okay. Now coming to the mains examination, it is in the month of October, 10th of October. Now from now onwards, up to the date of prelims exam, you have approximately 5 months. From prelim exam to mains exam, you have roughly about 11 weeks of time. So, in the coming 5 months, how to land in Engineering Services 2021 using GATE 2021 as a launching pad. So, that is going to be our discussion. Now let us briefly see the exam pattern, that is Engineering Services exam. So it will have preliminary exam, as I mentioned, stage 1. It will have in this general studies and engineering aptitude for about 2 hours, 200 marks and 100 questions. Means one question carries 2 marks. One question carries 2 marks. Now then we have paper 2 civil engineering. 3 hours 300 marks, 150 question. Same, one question 2 marks. So you have to plan in such a manner that you have to answer 100 questions in 2 hours or 150 questions in 3 hours. Anyway, we will discuss the strategies to attack these papers in a systematic way. Now stage 2 is nothing but mains examination, conventional, subjective. And as usual, entire civil engineering is divided into 2 papers. Means 50% of the subjects approximately are considered in paper 1 and 50% are considered in paper 2. So what are these subjects? You can download in the description given below this particular video about the syllabus and subjects in paper 1 and paper 2. 300 marks, 3 hours. Both the papers you have to write on the same day. Means morning session 1 paper, evening session 1 paper. Now let us see stage 3. Personal interview, 200 marks. Now let us see how do you land from one stage to another stage. Prelims together, you have 500 marks. So based on the marks you secure in the prelims exam, in the ratio about 1:6 to 1:8. It means suppose there is one vacancy. 6 to 8 students will be promoted to the mains exam. From this 1:6 to 1:8 ratio. Now, in the main again you have total 600 marks. 600 marks. Now, prelims plus mains, these two together will be 1100 marks. So based on the marks you secure, prelims come mains, then you will be promoted to the stage 3, that is personal interview of 200 marks. Now altogether 1300 marks. Of course, sir, mains to interview, what is the ratio? Approximately 1:2 or 2.5. So, from mains to interview and final selection is out of 1300 marks, how many marks you secure? As per my opinion, there are 4 broader areas to be covered in the coming 5 months. In the coming 5 months. 4 broader areas. Sir, what are those 4 broader areas and how to focus on them? Let us see one after the other. General studies and engineering aptitude, which is to be considered in prelims, which is a part of prelim exam only, not mains exam, only prelims. Fine. Common subjects in GATE and engineering services exam. You know, there are several subjects like strength of materials, both in GATE and IES or ESC. So there are certain common subjects. So how to cover those subjects for the ESC preparation? See, you have already made some preparation. So how much time you have to allocate? What shall be your orientation with respect to ESC? So that will be discussed in this particular topic. The third is additional subjects. Suppose compared to GATE and in engineering services, there are certain subjects like geology, construction equipment in detail. So there are some more topics which will be discussed by our other subject experts. So how to focus or study those additional subjects with respect to GATE? The practice of conventional questions. Sir, conventional questions only for mains na? Why should I spend some time? So beta, if you carefully examine the time gap between prelims and mains is hardly 11 weeks or say 2.5 months or so approximately. So in these 2.5 months, time may not be sufficient to completely focus on the mains exam. So what I suggest, so some of the questions while preparing for prelims itself, you see that the orientation is little bit towards conventional approach also. How? It will be discussed again separately. So how do you practice conventional questions along with the preparation for prelims? We will see. Now, general studies and engineering aptitude. So what is the preferred order of preparation? See, there are 10 subjects in the general studies. So of those 10 subjects, what is the preferred order for civil engineering students? Civil engineering students. So in civil engineering, engineering mathematics and numerical analysis, the first one. Beta, you have already prepared in the GATE exam, this mathematics, etc. Na? So naturally, it should be your first choice. You know, total 100 questions in the general studies paper, 10 subjects are there. So on an average, in every subject, there may be 10 questions. Of course, from the previous exam pattern, I have seen the number of questions in different subjects, 10 subjects are varying. In some subjects, 7 questions, some subjects, 15 questions also. In subject like material science, heavy weightage is given. So anyway, on an average, 10 questions, because you have already prepared in GATE exam, this mathematics, it should be your first choice. Second, engineering aptitude. Already you have studied for GATE exam in depth, that too in the recent change in syllabus. Engineering aptitude GATE exam is almost everything. So this should be the second choice. The third, current issues and background concepts. social, economic and industrial development. So every day you may be seeing newspapers or watching TV or some electronic media. So these current issues, because every day you are listening, you focus slightly on this. See, if you focus on current issues, some other subjects of general studies which I am going to discuss, you can perform better in those things also. So first is mathematics, second is aptitude, third is current issues, etc., etc. The fourth is basics of project management. What is my criteria here now? My dear civil students, you have studied construction management or IMOR, pattern CPM, etc. Various topics you have studied in your BTech civil engineering. Na? Since you have already studied in BTech as a technical subject and you are also going to study as a part of civil engineering also, it is a known subject but included in general studies. So for civil engineering students, I recommend this as the fourth one. Fifth, basics of energy and environment. In BTech, every student will cover one subject, environmental studies. Number two, chemistry. Engineering chemistry you might have studied in BTech first year. Third, you have environmental engineering subject. Na? See, in an environmental engineering subject, you will have environmental impact assessments, etc., etc., pollutions, etc. Basics of energy and environment to a large extent covers the environmental studies what you have studied in BTech and the environmental engineering subject what you have studied. So naturally my order is fifth one is basics of energy and environment, and this particular topic may have 12 to 15 questions, beta, 12 to 15 questions out of 100. So this is one of the favorite, don't neglect it. Sixth one, general principles of design, drawing and importance of safety. Design drawing, say civil engineers, even mechanical engineers, in fact drawing is the grammar for civil engineering students. So naturally my heart beats for this particular subject. Basics of material science and engineering, seventh preference. Why, sir? I have gone through the syllabus and previous questions. You have studied engineering physics in BTech first year, na? Engineering physics, okay, fine. To some extent, in strength of materials subject also and building material subject also, some concepts of material science might have been covered. So engineering physics, what you have studied in your BTech, building materials, strength of materials, etc. Some topics. So I have gone through previous question, 50% of the concepts of this particular topic are already covered, you might have already studied during your BTech, and you know, this also will carry a huge weightage of about 15 questions of 100. So this is another very favorite, I think it is easy for you also. 8, ethics and values in engineering profession. Again in BTech you might have studied engineering ethics or professional ethics you might have studied. Of course, most of the engineering students, they will bunk these classes. But in this particular subject, it's a static subject. Static means almost same concept for several years. If you use your common sense, just common sense, some of the questions you can easily answer. So therefore, my preference, 8th preference is ethics. Of course, there may not be so many questions, but there are roughly around 5 to 6 questions will appear. With the common sense, even without much preparation also, sometimes you can answer these questions. Standards and quality practices in production, construction and maintenance and services. It appears a little bit civil engineering oriented, but after seeing the previous engineering prelims question, it is a little bit hi-fi for civil students and not many questions are appearing. So my preference is 9th one. 10th, ICT, Information and Communication Technologies. In this, topics related to e-governance, e-education, communication, satellite communication, etc., networking. So various, sometimes basic components about computer engineering, algorithms. Sometimes I have seen previous questions. So most of the areas, in my opinion, they are completely new to civil engineering students. Therefore, I have kept this as 10th preference. Anyway, individual preference may differ. This is my preference. If you are comfortable, if you have taken this particular topic as an elective in your BTech, you can. So, the 10 preferences what I have given for general studies and engineering aptitude is for an average student who have made some general study, who has focused mainly on engineering, civil engineering. These are the preferences. Now you may ask a simple question. Sir, I don't have much time. I am confused. Can I skip some of the topics or subjects of the general studies and engineering aptitude? I don't say skip, but what I say, based on the scores obtained by previous toppers, beta, if you can get 100 marks out of 200 in this GS, I say excellent. I say excellent. Getting 120 marks, I think very rare. Maybe anybody got 150, I don't have idea. But 100 marks in this general studies topics is sufficient. You need not spend too much time also. Why? Baba, these general studies syllabus topics are not going to be there in mains paper. So mains paper is purely technical civil engineering. So don't waste too much time. If you can get about 100 marks, even 90 marks also more than sufficient, but you should get maximum marks, maximum possible marks in engineering, civil engineering, prelims and mains civil engineering. So if you get 100 out of 200, then what is the way? I tell you better. Mathematics, 10 to 12 questions will be there. Aptitude, 10 to 12 questions will be there. Current issues, daily routine, some 5-6 questions. Even where you are stronger, project management, you are stronger. Little bit of environment, you are stronger. So 3-4 subjects, first order, make it pakka. In rest of the topics, go through the easy topics, simple topics, which you can understand, but don't break your head for unnecessary toughest concepts in the general studies, because general studies is limited only for prelims exam, not for mains exam. So if you can get 100 out of 200, I think in my opinion, it is excellent. Okay, if you get more than that also, it is okay. But if you are starting your preparation for general studies, this is the better one. Now, what is the syllabus or what is the prescribed book for general studies, sir? A civil engineer may ask. Dear students, there is no defined syllabus for these general studies. So based on previous 4 years papers, the subject experts of ACE Engineering Academy have formulated some study material, prepared some syllabus of our own, which is likely to be appeared in the exams. So if you focus on our study material, if you go through our online live class or recorded deep learn or offline classes, that is more than sufficient. If you want to know the type of questions, one is go through the previous engineering services objective questions and appear our test series religiously. That will give you confidence and a right approach to get a minimum of 100 marks out of 200 in the general studies paper. As a civil engineer to get 100 marks, as I told you earlier, if you focus on maths, aptitude and environmental studies, etc., it is very easy to get 100 marks. Okay? Now, my other friends, other subject experts will cover rest of the 3 focused areas, that is with respect to common subjects in GATE and ESE, additional subjects in ESE compared to GATE, and what shall be the approach towards conventional questions of mains. Now my friends will take over.
After the GATE examination, how to extend further to crack effectively the forthcoming Engineering Service Examination 2021. See, if you have prepared thoroughly and given recently the GATE examination, it lays a very strong foundation to mold your preparation further towards the Engineering Services Examination. But as you know, in the case of GATE examination, we have got only one paper, objective type, that too computer-based test. Whereas in the case of Engineering Service Examination, we have 4 papers. Some of them are objective, some of them are descriptive, or else you can say conventional type. That's why we should know the various tips and strategy, how to extend effectively your preparation from GATE examination towards the Engineering Service Examination. See, with our vast experience in this competitive coaching field, we have prepared some content in these slides. I'm going to share with you. Certainly, the discussion what I'm going to make here will be very, very useful for the ESE aspirants. Let us see one by one. Right. To begin with, let us see what is common between the GATE examination and then the Engineering Services Examination as far as the technical subjects are concerned. Look at, as you see here, these are the subjects which are common for GATE examination as well as Engineering Services Examination. So from this, what you can conclude is most of the core subjects what to study in our civil engineering, we do have both in the GATE examination as well as in the Engineering Service Examination. This is a highly encouraging point. But as I told you, the orientation you have to slightly change, because GATE means objective oriented, right? And we have small numericals there. But in the case of ESE examination, we have objective as well as lengthy conventionals also. So you need to know how to orient preparation to practice those questions, right? Even though the subjects names are common between the GATE and the ESE, in some of the subjects, there may be some extra syllabus in the case of ESE. So you should know what is that extra portion in some of these subjects, whether it is important or unimportant, whether you can afford to leave it or you want to focus. That's what you need to know about this. Now, let us take each of these subjects one by one, and we'll see what extra topics are there in some of these subjects. To begin with, we'll take first look at this. Extra topics in some of these subjects. So, for example, if you see solid mechanics, but strength of materials, whatever you have in the GATE exam, same thing is in the ESE also. But in the case of ESE, this one chapter, elastic theories of failure, is one extra chapter is there. So you can see some asked what you call objective questions on this chapter. So this chapter you have to prepare additionally. Remaining chapters in the case of GATE exam, you know, in the case of GATE examination, this subject is one of the important subject. You might have definitely prepared thoroughly. So this only one chapter extra you have to prepare to equip yourself to crack this ESE. Then the next subject is structural analysis. Here I should tell you one important point. Most of the GATE aspirants in the GATE preparation, they don't focus much this structural analysis subject because it is given relatively somewhat less weightage. They give less weightage for this subject, structural analysis. But when it comes to Engineering Services Examination, you have to prepare thoroughly this particular subject, that is structural analysis. Your GATE preparation will not be sufficient. You have to go further and study in depth this particular subject. Same syllabus is there, but in the case of ESE, we have an extra topic here, particularly what you call that structural dynamics is there, where you can see free and forced vibrations. Actually, if you see the previous question papers, so 1 or 2 questions are being asked repeatedly from this dynamics part. So you need to learn thoroughly this particular extra syllabus of the structural analysis in the case of ESC. The next we can see other subject, design of concrete and masonry structures, what we call in usual words RCC subject. This subject also one of the important subject in the GATE examination. You might have definitely prepared thoroughly in the case of GATE examination, right? Whatever you have prepared, that is generally sufficient. But as you see here, this is something extra what you have in the ESC. But some of the topics are, they are not that much important. For example, you can see here, earthquake resistant design of structures. This particular topic is not so important. Occasionally 1 or 2 objective questions. If you do not have time, you can afford to leave it. But you have to focus compulsorily with regard to what you call the foundation part. Especially you have to study thoroughly the retaining walls. You see previous question papers, the lengthy problems, 20 marks questions on retaining walls was given there. So this is one of the topic you have to focus, like design of masonry structures. This is what extra syllabus what you have in the case of RCC. Now, the next subject is construction practice, planning and management. Here, I have shown here the extra syllabus what we have in the case of engineering services. The networks like PERT, CPM, the cost analysis, already we have in the GATE as well in the ESC also. But this is something extra we have. There are so many topics here, mostly theory topics. Don't bother much about this one, but you have to compulsorily focus these topics, especially the equipment. Construction equipment, this is one of the important topic. That is not in the case of GATE, but you have to study additionally in the case of ESC. This is one of the important topic. And then, okay, the remaining topics here, if you see that rate analysis, tendering process, and these are all labor and land acquisition, labor safety, they are all theoretical topics. Rarely questions are coming up on this one. Depending upon the time availability, you are the best person to decide whether to go or not, right? One of the strategies what you can follow is, first you focus on the construction equipment. Don't bother about remaining topics. They're all theoretical topics. In the end, if you have excess time for preparation of further, then you can focus on this. Otherwise, you can afford to leave it. Or else you can do one more thing. You just see the previous questions, especially the objective and conventional type. Whatever you have previously asked on this one, those questions you can make one more, you can prepare, because there is every possibility to repeat some of those theoretical questions. So this is important topic, remaining they are not so important. But mind you, the PET and CPM networks, the cost analysis, that is very important, that you do study in the GATE. In the ES also, very lengthy question, 20 marks question also sometimes can be asked on this one. Then, one more subject that I want to discuss here. If you look at here, they're all structural related subjects. We have steel structures. Whatever you have in the GATE, the same syllabus is there in the case of ESC also. But in the case of a GATE examination, some aspirants, they don't focus much on this, because in GATE examination, steel has relatively small weightage. Only 1 or 2 marks asked there. But when it comes to the engineering service examination, steel structures is one of the important subject. We have to focus. You have to focus like anything in the case of ESC preparation, right? Now, we move to the other non-structural engineering subjects what we have in the case of ESC. The extra syllabus apart from GATE, that's what I am going to show you here. Hydrology and water resource engineering. Hydrology and water resource engineering. As you see the nomenclature, the stream gauging, right, drought management, river training and river basins, water logging. Most of the topics what you see here, these are all nothing but theory oriented. Rarely questions come on this one. It's not so important. So you are the best person whether to prepare or not. But mind you, if you see this hydrology subject, we have some core chapters. What are those core chapters? Precipitation, infiltration, hydrographs, well hydraulics, flood routing. They are very important in the case of GATE examination. Similarly, they are also important in the case of ESC. Those core topics, whatever you focus in the GATE, similarly you have to focus in IAS also. But this is extra syllabus. It is not so important, right? Mostly theory part, not so important. It is up to you to follow it or not, right? So why I am so specific about this particular aspect is, in the ESC we have vast syllabus. Sometimes it may not be possible to study each and everything. You may tend to go for somewhat selective preparation. So if at all you want to go for selective preparation, if at all you want to leave some small topics which are not important, those topics which are not important I am trying to show you here, right? Extra topics but not so important. The remaining aspects of hydrology you have to focus. Similarly, if you see water resource engineering, what you call irrigation engineering, one of the big subject, right? You might have seen the textbook also very bulky, but in this water resource engineering, there are 4 or 5 chapters which are commonly asked in the GATE examination as well as ESC exam. For example, you see the duty delta chapter, water requirement of crops. Then design of lined and unlined canals. Next chapter is gravity dam analysis. Next is diversion headworks. These are the 4 main chapters where there is a possibility to ask repeatedly questions in the GATE as well as ESC examination. Right? In the case of ESC, these are some extra topics what we have there. But it's basically a theory part. You know what I'm going to say. If time permits, you can go through this one. Otherwise, just have what they call overall, just a small review of these topics. Then, environmental engineering. This is one of the very important subject, both in the GATE examination as well as in the engineering service examination. Whatever you have prepared during the GATE examination preparation, same thing will hold good even for the ESC preparation also. But in the case of ESC syllabus, some of the critical topics what you see given there. But if you see the previous question bank, these topics are not so important. Not so important. So you have to focus on topic that is noise pollution. The remaining is not so important. But the remaining topics, whatever you focus in the GATE, same thing you have to focus in the ESC also. Some lengthy questions you have to practice. In this additional syllabus, study the noise pollution, remaining is not so important. Okay. Then, the remaining extra topics in the some remaining subjects, geotechnical engineering. This is also one of the most important subjects both in the GATE examination as well as engineering service examination. Whatever you focus and prepare in the GATE examination, that is generally sufficient in the case of ESC preparation also. Only thing is you have to practice some extra lengthy convention in the case of a pile foundation, bearing capacity chapter, retaining walls chapter, etc. Some lengthy questions you have to practice. Remaining preparation, whatever you have done in the GATE, that is sufficient in the case of ESC also. You can easily score marks. But in the case of ESC, in the general engineering subject, you see small 3 topics extra given there. One is ground modification. So one chapter is there extra. Other one is geosynthetics. And one more is the retaining walls. These are the 3 extra topics what you have to focus. But especially ground modification, geosynthetics, you can see 1 or 2 objective questions, not beyond that one. And sometimes you can see one small conventional questions. But this is one of the important because retaining wall analysis, the design aspects are generally touched. Sometimes there can be a combination of what you call soil mechanics and RCC in the case of retaining wall problems. This is what extra. Except this extra, remaining whatever you do preparation in the case of GATE exam, that is certainly sufficient in the case of ESC also. And then surveying. There is no much difference between the GATE exam preparation and the ESC preparation as far as surveying is concerned. But if you see surveying syllabus in the ESC, we have 1 or 2 extra critical topics there. What you call the layout for culverts, canals, etc. It's not that much important. You can afford to skip this one. This extra part in the surveying, what is given in the ESC, not so important, you can afford to skip it. Whatever you study in the GATE, again the same thing you have to just revise. Next is transportation engineering. This includes highway, airports and railways also. But here I have given railway engineering as an extra topic here. Actually, if you see GATE, in GATE also you have railway topic. But in the case of GATE examination, we have only one chapter that is nothing but geometric design. That includes the speeds and the cant, nothing but superelevation. Except superelevation and the speeds, all the remaining aspects of railway engineering you have to study in the case of ESC. In the case of ESC. So from this, what you conclude is, whatever you have the core subjects in the GATE, we do have in the ESC also. But in the case of ESC, in some of the subjects, there is some extra topics, small extra topics, but most of them are somewhat theoretical. They are not that much what you call important. So you can see some extra subjects also we have in the ESC. Let me show that extra subjects what you have in the ESC, extra subjects. For example, building materials. In the case of GATE exam, we have construction materials that includes only steel and concrete. All the rest of the construction materials you can see in the case of building materials. This building materials is not in the GATE syllabus, but it is there in the ESC. This is one of the important topic for ESC. Because you don't study in the GATE preparation, you have to study specifically this particular subject, building materials, in the case of ESC. You can see a good number of what you call objective questions as well as theoretical conventional questions being asked in the building materials subject. This you have to study additionally. And then hydraulic machines and hydropower. See, in the GATE and IES, we have fluid mechanics. Same syllabus we have, GATE and IES, fluid mechanics. But hydraulic machines, it is not in the GATE syllabus, but it is there in the IES. In IES, this is one of the important topic you have to study. You can't afford to skip this, hydraulic machines and then building materials. What about fluid mechanics? Whatever you have in the GATE syllabus, the same thing is there in the ESC also. That is one of the important subject, fluid mechanics. You have to study thoroughly the what you call fluid mechanics. Of course, you might have already gone through the subject in the case of GATE examination. When it comes to ESC preparation, just you have to revise now and then. Otherwise, you may tend to forget. But additionally, you have to study hydraulic machines. It is there only in the ESC. So these two subjects, building materials, hydraulic machines, you have to focus. You have to study thoroughly. They have got good weightage. And then we have 2-3 small subjects also. For example, you see the geology. One small subject is there, purely theoretical. And then we have the tunneling topic. And then we have the harbors. So overall, these three topics, they are not that much important. They are not that much important. It is up to you whether to follow it or not. The best strategy is, initially you skip it, prepare the rest of the syllabus. So after some amount of time, you will come to know whether you have further time or not to prepare. In case you have further time to prepare, then you can focus on this. If you do not have time, go for selective preparation. These topics not so important, you can afford to leave it. If you recollect what you have discussed, we have seen most of these subjects, whatever you see in the GATE, we do have in the ESC. So if you have prepared and given the GATE examination recently, the preparation of the GATE examination will certainly help you in the ESC preparation also. You don't have to prepare again. You don't have to prepare again. But at regular intervals, you have to revise that subjects what you have studied already in the GATE examination. Regularly, you have to revise. Apart from that, in the case of ESC preparation, that common subjects, whatever you have studied, you have to look at those, what you call, some of the important extra chapters. And also you have to focus on practicing and solving those, what you call, lengthy conventional questions. And regarding these extra subjects, right, I told you already, these two are important subjects. These are not so important. That is how you have to orient. That is how you have to follow this preparation. And one more thing here, if you compare the subjects what you have prepared in the GATE examination, the questions what you have practiced, and if you know the ESC pattern, we have objective as well as conventional. If you see the technical syllabus, I am talking about technical syllabus only, we can understand that if you have prepared thoroughly for GATE examination, if you have given recently, almost 3/4 of your IES preparation is done. I mean, if you prepared thoroughly GATE exam, if you have given recently the GATE examination, 3/4 of your IES preparation is done. Then what is remaining 1/4 of preparation of IES or ESC? The remaining 1/4, what you have to do in the case of ESC preparation further is nothing but practicing some of the lengthy conventional questions of those subjects. And also studying those extra topics. But how to orient your time on this? If you have, for example, you see a geotechnical engineering subject, environment engineering subject, strength of materials, RCC, hydrology, these subjects. We study them like anything in the case of GATE examination. Same thing is generally sufficient for IES also. Only thing is, once the GATE exam is over, you should not forget that. At regular intervals, you have to revise them. Focus on remaining extra topics, if at all something is there in these subjects. And also you have to focus remaining extra topics in the extra subjects like these ones. That is how you have to orient. The main point I am going to discuss now. Between the GATE examination and ESC, if you see, for example, 2021, we have almost 5 months. In the 5 months of time, we have to prepare for this ESC, we have sufficient time. But one main point here is, between the ESC, you have 2 stages, prelims and then mains. Between the prelims and the mains examination, there is a time gap of 2.5 months. This is a very important point. Between the prelims and the mains examination of ESC, we have 2.5 months of time this year. So therefore, you should properly orient your preparation for IES, not to study everything simultaneously. Everything means here conventional as well as objective, right? Because there is a time gap of 2.5 months between prelims and mains. What you can do is, the best strategy, study some portion before the prelims examination. The study remaining part after prelims examination, before that mains examination. So you have to distribute some amount of preparation before the prelims and remaining preparation after the prelims. Here the question comes, what to study before the prelims and what you have to study further after the prelims. That is what I am going to discuss now. Look at this. I want to categorize into 2, preparation before the prelims and preparation after the prelims. Let us see each one by one. Like preparation before the prelims, right? So I remind you, the prelims exam includes the objective questions only. Without the help of calculator, you have to solve them. Look at what you have to prepare before the preliminary examination. Look at this first point. You have to study the complete portion of the prelims and some portion of the mains examination. What I am saying here is, you also have to study some portion of mains examination, because after prelims examination, you got only 2.5 months of time. That 2.5 months of time may not be sufficient for you to study thoroughly the complete mains conventional part. That's why during the preparation for the prelim stage itself, during the preparation for the prelims examination, simultaneously you have to prepare some portion of the mains also. Here the question comes, some portion of the mains means what? Look at this, I want to show here. So what you have to study here is, I am discussing myself exclusively the technical part, right? Not dealing the general studies engineering aptitude part, technical part in civil engineering. So what you have to study before prelims? See here, you have to study the theory part completely, because most of the questions in the prelims, they are basically theoretical questions. Of course, you have a few questions numerical type, but you have to solve without help of calculator. They are very small questions. So all the theoretical concepts you have to be thorough, right? The theory part, the concepts thoroughly you have to do, and then the assumptions behind the theories, the applications, all the theory part exhaustively you have to study for the prelims. And apart from that, some portion of the mains, it means you have to study, you have to prepare the small and moderate numerical questions. What do you mean by small and moderate numerical questions? You have to prepare along with the preliminary syllabus. This is small and numericals, nothing but Nothing but those conventional questions which will be asked for 4 marks, right? 4 marks, otherwise 6 marks, 8 marks, 10 marks, like this. These are the small numerical questions what you have to prepare simultaneously along with what you call a prelims portion. What you need not prepare during prelims stage is, you need not prepare the lengthy conventional questions which are going to be asked for 15 marks, otherwise for 20 marks. That you can do after prelims examination. So this is what you have to do before prelims examination. This point kindly keep in mind. The complete portion of the prelims you have to study from the objective questions perspective. At the same time, some portion of the mains part where conventional questions are likely to be asked for 4 marks, 6 marks, 8 marks, 10 marks, like that, that also you have to prepare. Right? This is what you have to do, keep in mind. The next thing is, so how to distribute your time of preparation? Because you have to prepare technical, at the same time, the general studies and engineering aptitude also. The best thing is, half day for general studies and engineering aptitude, and the remaining half day for the technical subjects. Right? That is how you can carry out. This is the best strategy. Suppose if you study only general studies continuously or only technical, you get bored. So try to have mixing of this. Half day general studies, remaining half day technical. Like that you can carry out. This is one of the best thing. And then other tip that I want to give here is, please practice the objective numerical questions without calculator. Without calculator. Because in ESC prelims examination, calculator is not allowed. You should know how to simplify the small numerical equations there. Not a big deal. If you have some practice, easily you can handle that one. But you require some practice. That's why, so practice those questions also. Then, gather good study material. Why? Because if you see the study material of any reputed coaching institute, we have the theoretical concepts relevant for the examination. If you see textbooks also you can prepare, nothing wrong in that one. If you have time, you can prepare textbooks also. Suppose you have less time and you want to make a quick preparation, then this is the best thing. If you take a study material of coaching institute, we have the relevant important theory part, some of the expert questions, and mainly the previous year's questions of engineering services and the civil services questions. Those questions are very much required for you. You have to practice them. That will save a lot of your valuable time in the preparation. There is advantage if you follow some ready-made study material. In fact, ACE Engineering Academy has prepared the theoretical booklets on each subject, the practice question bank. We have prepared the detailed solution for the previous questions of engineering services, the GATE examination, as well as civil services. You can avail that opportunity. Please, you can go through the material if it is available for you, right? That is one thing. And then, this is very important. You have to practice the previous year's questions of engineering services examination as well as civil services examination. The objective questions you have to practice. That will help you to show a proper path, how will be the pattern of the examinations questions in the case of engineering services. And that also train you how to solve the questions quickly. How to solve the questions quickly. The time management you can know automatically if you practice some of these objective questions. That's why I strongly advise you to practice these questions simultaneously while reading the theory part and then practicing the small questions also. Then, this another thing what I want to advise to my dear friends. If you can get enrolled in a mock test series, this will help you a lot. This is very much required nowadays. If you see, most of the successful students in the engineering service examination, what they are saying, even the GATE toppers also, they take this mock test series very seriously. Because if you are taking the mock tests seriously, you will come to know the pattern of questions that are being asked in the examinations. You will also come to know what to study, what not to study. This will give you some guideline. Moreover, you can know the time management. So many advantages are, you'll also come to know where you stand because so many people will be appearing this examination, right? So you'll be given ranking also there. You'll come to know where you stand. In case you want to increase some extra time for preparation, that also you can do it if you know where you stand in this mock test series. So in fact, we have ACE Engineering Academy. We do have what you call the perfect mock test series for this engineering service examination. You can get enrolled here, right? You can come across questions. They are similar to what you call the actual engineering service examination questions. This is very much required for you. And then it is better to form a small study group of like-minded people. Small group only. Small group means that, let's say, just 2-3 members only, not more than that. If you have a small group of 2-3 members, whenever you feel bored, you can have a small fun with your group, with your friends in the group. You can exchange some of the doubts also, right? You can share some lighter moments. You can relax. That is how you can nullify the pressure of the preparation. It is right, advisable. But some people, they don't like that group study. They want to make individual without interference from the friends. It is up to you, right? It is only suggestion if possible. Otherwise, you prepare individual, nothing wrong in that. Whatever you feel comfortable, that's what you have to do this. It's only our suggestion, right? Prepare short notes. So on every subject, a brief short notes or micro notes, it is better if you can prepare. Because the short notes will be very, very helpful to you whenever you want to give a quick revision. For quick revisions, the short notes is very, very useful to you. The short notes need not be having the formal grammatical sentence, not necessary. Simple, small sentences you can write. Some flowcharts also you can use there. Make it as brief as possible. You have to prepare yourself, the short notes, so that you can revise easily, quickly the syllabus. Okay? Then you see this. Fix the targets. What targets? Targets of your preparation. Daily, weekly, monthly, like this. In the sense, by the end of this coming week, how much portion I have to prepare? Fix a target. By the end of the coming month, how much subjects, how much syllabus I have to prepare, how many subjects I have to complete, right? What subject I have to complete. Like that, you should have targets. Daily targets, weekly targets, monthly targets. If you have this type of targets, you become automatically focused, serious, and you can complete the syllabus easily. If you do not have this type of targets, it is difficult to complete the syllabus within the time available. That's why try to have some targets like this. So once you fix the targets, then my advice to you, prepare a timetable for your preparation. Timetable for your preparation. See that the timetable is very realistic. Very realistic timetable. This point I want to highlight here. Realistic timetable you should have. So prepare this realistic timetable showing the dates. So from which date to which date, how much time you get, what subject you have to complete, right? How much portion you have to study. The timetable should have also some flexibility to take the revision as well as the test. Like that, you prepare a timetable for your preparation. The dates, the time, how much you have to study by so and so date, right? At what stage you have to take the test. At what stage you have to revise the particular subject. All this you have to incorporate in this what you call timetable. But be realistic. You know how many hours you are going to prepare daily, right? Accordingly, you have to prepare the timetable. Don't go critically with high targets. If you do not meet those targets, that will cause some frustration to you. That's why prepare a realistic timetable, depending upon your sources, especially the time, right? Depending upon the time of preparation, you prepare yourself this type of timetable. And fix the what you call targets also like that. This will make your preparation what you call in a systematic manner. In a systematic manner. This provide what you call some guidelines. A fixed path, you can go through that one. You have to take the test regularly. And then see that. Sit for the timetable. meeting these targets. Otherwise, it's difficult to complete the preparation. And then you can see that quick revisions at regular intervals. So to make the quick revision at regular intervals, the short notes will be highly useful. So friends, before your prelims examination, these are things that you are supposed to do it. Especially study the complete portion of the prelims and some portion of the mains. This is what you have to do before the prelims. Okay. Once you give the prelims examination, then what to do after the prelims? Once you give the prelims exam, once prelims examination is over, have some 3-4 days break, visit your native place, right? Visit your kith and kin, then come back and start seriously the preparation after prelims to meet the mains syllabus, right? Mains portion preparation. Here you should understand what you have to do after the prelims. So mainly you have to focus conventional questions in this stage. Mainly you have to focus lengthy conventional questions. Lengthy conventional questions you have to prepare. So how to solve the lengthy conventional questions? What theoretical equation is required, right? What concept is required? All those aspects you have to revise. I know that in GATE examination you have gone through those concepts, but in the GATE examination you don't focus on the lengthy conventionals. You might have focused only on the small numerical questions only. But this is a stage that you have to extend further. So try to extend further and practice how to solve those lengthy conventional questions. And then practice previous year's questions of ESC and civil services. Earlier I told you have to practice the same thing, objectives. Even the conventional questions also you have this. If you practice those previous questions, you will come to know the style of asking, right? You also come to know how to solve quickly. You get a proper exposure to the pattern of the previously asked questions, right? Pattern of this examination questions particularly. Very much useful for you. You have to purchase the previous year's questions and along with the detailed solutions. In fact, AS Academy has prepared those questions and the detailed solution. You can avail that facility if you require, of course. Then look at this. In the case of engineering service examination, the time management and the space management play a crucial role. Even though you know the questions, it may be difficult sometimes to solve all the questions within the given time in the ESC examination, unless you practice thoroughly. So you should know how to manage the time effectively in the case of ESC. Okay? Then, in the case of ESC mains examination, we have QCAB format. Question come answer booklet format. You know what the meaning of QCAB? Question come answer booklet format. In a sense, you will be given a booklet where at the top of the page you have the question, below the question you have some empty space. In the empty space only you are expected to present your answer. So questions as well as answers will be there in the same booklet. Right? Depending upon the question, under each question you will be left what you call one page or 2 page, 3 pages empty space. In that space only you have to write your answer. Sometimes, okay, there you may feel some difficulty sometimes. That's why you should know how to manage that space given to present your answer there. So if you want to master the time management and space management techniques, you need to practice the previous questions and some of the expert questions also on rough papers. Literally, that's what I want to say here. Practice these questions. What questions? The expected questions from the material, study material, some of the questions of the standard textbooks, and the previous, some questions you have to solve literally on the rough white papers. While solving rough white papers, assess yourself. For each question, how much time you are taking, how much space it is occupying. That's the point. So if you focus on them, you will slowly master yourself how to answer the questions effectively within the least time and how to present the answer within the space given, likely given there. It's very much required. Still, if you want to further master this one, my best advice to you, get enrolled in a mock test series. The mock test series which is conducted in the QCAB format. So AS Engineering Academy every year conduct the ESC mains examination mock test series in the same QCAB format. Whatever you see the QC format in the real UPSC mains examination, same pattern we do follow in our AC Academy. If you get enrolled in the mock test series, this will be very, very helpful to you, how to manage the time and the space, right? You very much required this. These are all things that you have to extend further when it comes to the ESC preparation. Got the point. Then prepare a list of the important formulae in all the subjects, and also some of the important concepts that are required to solve the what you call lengthy conventional questions, and how to answer some theory questions also. Mind you, in the case of mains examination, we do have numerical problems as well as some theory questions. But theory questions are relatively small in numbers, but mainly you can see numerical problems. But theory questions also are there. So you should know how to present a theoretical question answer. So those important points, along with the list of the formulae, you can prepare a small short notes. This will be very helpful to you in revising the syllabus at regular intervals. To save your time of revision, this is very useful. Then you must not forget to revise the what you prepare at regular intervals. If you don't revise at regular intervals, you may likely forget this. That's why regular revisions are very, very important. And moreover, you need to have some targets. Daily, how much you have to prepare. By the end of 1 week or 2 weeks, how much you have to prepare. By the end of 1 month or 2 months, how much you have to prepare. Like that, you need to have some targets, daily, weekly, monthly, like this. So if you know how much time that is available, if you know the targeted syllabus, accordingly, depending upon the time available for you, you can prepare a timetable for your preparation. Timetable for your preparation. Strictly follow the timetable. If you follow the timetable, you can meet those targets. But I advise you, prepare a realistic timetable. Depending upon the time available for a preparation, you have to prepare yourself this type of timetable, right? Then, I told you in the beginning also, in the case of ESC examination, we have so much syllabus. In case if you feel some difficulty in preparing the entire syllabus, nothing wrong if you go for a selective preparation. Especially for conventional questions, you can make selective preparation. But as far as the prelims exam is concerned, where you have objective question, it is better to study wide extensive study in the case of objective questions of prelims. When it comes to the mains examination, you can go for selective preparation because we have some amount of choice in the what you call examination. As you know, you will be given 8 questions, totally 8 conventional questions. Out of the 8, you have to answer 5 questions. We have some amount of what you call choice there. That's why if time doesn't permit you, nothing wrong if you go for some selective preparation. But one thing I want to remind you, whenever you want to go for selective preparation, you have to focus mainly on the most important topics which are routinely asked. So first you have to complete the most important topics. After completing most important topics, then you have to study important topics. Then you have to study less important. Then only you have to study the unimportant. Like that you have to gradually extend. If you want to know the weightage for the each subject in the engineering studies examination, how much weightage for the each subject, right? So how many questions are there? What kind of chapters are being asked? From which chapter the questions are coming up repeatedly. If you know those aspects, then only you will understand what to prepare in the case of selective study. So to know all this one, you can look at one more video. We have prepared the strategic preparation for engineering service examination in the case of civil engineering. You can see the link given in the description. If you see that link, there you can find one video, a detailed video on the ESC preparation as well as strategy that is supposed to be made there. Really you will enjoy, right? That is what I want to add here. And then you can see this aspect, yes. You know, in the case of engineering services mains examination, some theoretical questions are repeatedly asked. If you see previous question papers, you will understand yourself. So you have to focus on these. Especially, I tell you, if you see the building materials subject, concrete technology, the tunneling, right, the airport engineering, in those subjects you can see some questions repeatedly asked there. If you focus on them, there is every possibility to have the same question again repeated. It may also save your time, because if you see the previous question and detailed solutions, all these questions are given with the detailed solutions there, theoretical questions and the solutions there. So that will save some of your valuable time, right? So that also I have highlighted in the video, you can see in the description. So friends, these are some of the points what you are supposed to do after the prelims, nothing but for the mains portion, right? So you need to divide the time. Some portion you have to study before prelims, and remaining you have to study after. That's what you have come across there. That's what you have come across. And one more, my dear aspirants, whatever I have given here, these are only suggestive and indicative. Depending upon your time and the resources, etc., you're always free to alter this one, right, according to your style, according to your requirement. So with this, I want to sign out. Wish you good luck.
I am back for the last part, that is whether conventional questions are to be practiced before prelims exam or not. That's all. Anyway, our subject experts might have given their opinion. I will try to conclude what to do. So before prelims, we already discussed hardly 5 months time is there. So keeping in view this a short period, what I suggest, you can focus on conventional questions of common subjects of GATE and ESE, because as far as concepts are concerned, objective approach is concerned, you have already become an expert. Only thing is, conventional part is left over. My suggestion is to consider or practice conventional questions of the common subjects of GATE and ESE before prelims. So common subjects, yes, this is my opinion. Now coming to additional subjects or new subjects totally compared to GATE as listed by our subject experts, I say better no. You will have around 10 to 11 weeks of time after prelims exam. You can practice conventional questions of these things, additional subjects after prelims. Again before prelims, suppose very lengthy conventional questions are there with respect to common subjects, you can slightly postpone them. So simple conventional questions, not very lengthy, simple derivations, you can practice before prelims. Now another important point is QCAB, question cum answer booklet. Sir, shall I practice conventional questions in this QCAB before prelims? I advise no, because it takes little bit more time. Question cum answer booklet means in the UPSC exam, engineering research exam, question will be given, some space will be defined, it may be half page or full page. You have to complete the answer within that space given. Suppose if something goes wrong, if you strike it off, you will not get another opportunity to correct, because in the same space you have to write. My suggestion, you can practice using QCAB format after prelims exam. Okay, so this is with respect to conventional questions. All the best.